Hey everyone, and welcome back. We are actually going to be working on a desktop grid as well. So I don't have a reference here. I'm going to go to our breakpoints and just grab this large grid. So I'm going to Command C. I'm just going to copy the entire frame and then go back to this page and paste that here. So I'm just going to get rid of all these, containers that are in there. I like this grid for the most part, but the one thing that's bothering me is that, I still don't like how the margin's so close to here. I'm going to, just modify it a bit, but I'm going to create a new frame and we're going to do it together. So let's do that. So over here, I selected the frame tool. I am not going to use a phone. I'm going to go into desktop. Now here, let me find a desktop that's going to be suitable. I think this is fine for now, and we can shrink that down to say 1200. Okay, whatever, 1201. Let's make that 1200, and we'll just call this our desktop grid. Now we can go ahead and create another version of this if we want. What we could actually do is we could actually apply the style, detach that style, and work based off of what's there. We're just going to create it from scratch. So let's start. So I'm going to add the layout grid onto that frame. We are going to choose the column grids. Now I want 12 on a screen this large, and I would like them to stretch. My gutters, I usually will set them to 32 pixels or 24 pixels. I think that's totally fine for something like this. But for my margin here, I'm actually going to just bump this up a bit. I think 56 makes everything, I think that's, once again, it's in line with our spacing when it comes to using 4 pixel or 8 pixel intervals. But the other thing is, it looks nicer when the content doesn't just go very close to that edge. It gives it a little bit of breathing space, and it's still responsive if you need it to be. So there you go. We've already created our layout grid. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually turn it into a style. And we can call this our 12 column. There we go. And I'm going to copy and paste this. We're going to add on top of it. So I called that 12 co. So let's just edit that. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach this, and then once again I'm bringing in a new grid on top of this grid. We're going to call this our baseline. So once again, instead of the counts, we're going to go with auto. We're going to, let's change the color on this. We'll just use blue. We're going to start from the top because right now it's just stretching. And I'm going to use 8 pixels. So there we go. We've already created the baseline grid. And now, I'm not going to add a new one. Now we can actually add a new grid on top. We can say something like our 12 column and 8 pixel baseline. And there we go. So now we can, we can do a couple things. We can keep on going and make more breakpoints over here. We can add a new folder. So just by right clicking, desktop. So I like to keep things neat. And there we go. We have our folders. You can go even deeper. You can say that, okay, this style right here, or I'm going to add another folder and call this large styles. And that's basically how we can access them. So if I create another copy of this grid and, remove that altogether, let's see what it looks like when we go to apply them. So this is desktop L. If we were to have desktop medium, there would be another layer here. But, we can just quickly apply that grid over there, and it is responsive. So if you need to give or take a couple of pixels here and there, you can do that. Now, that is how you create desktop grids in Figma.